Hi students, welcome back to English class. In last class you learned the second lesson, the Elixir of Life, which is written by C.V. Raman. Just we can revise the points. You learned the imaginary elixir of life, the real elixir of life, what is the importance of water, rain-fed tanks, which are the cheering site of countryside, and about the silt, which is giving color to the rain-fed tanks, and the two rod of water, beneficent rod for the geological process, at the same time the destructive power, which is making soil erosion. What are the causes for soil erosion? How we can prevent soil erosion? These points you learned in the last class. Now we can go to the remaining paragraphs of this lesson. Here the writer tells water is the basis of all life. The first point is water is the basis of all life. No kind of physiological activity is possible without this water. It is very necessary for animal life as well as plant life. So, the preservation and utilization of water is fundamental for human welfare. And much of the Indian agriculture is depend upon the seasonal rainfall. Here, the writer tells about two kinds of water. They are artesian water and rainfall. Artesian water and rain or snowfall. Rain or snowfall. Artesian water means underground water. So our Indian agriculture depends upon this rain or rainfall. If it is not, if is inadequate water is there, it will definitely affect our agriculture. So what we should do, we have to adopt techniques how we can prevent the soil erosion. The techniques we are adopting for soil erosion, it will help to conserve the water. So according to the writer, the techniques will serve a double purpose. Techniques will serve double purpose. This point is very important. Which techniques? The techniques we are adopting for soil erosion. It will serve double purpose. What? It can prevent soil erosion. At the same time, it can conserve the water wherever we want, in the soil or on the soil. Okay, students. And the writer raises one question here. What activities we are taking to prevent the soil erosion or conserve our water? Already I have told this is fundamental for our human welfare. So here what we should do? We have to think about this problem in national ways. As a human being, what is our duty? We have to think about this problem and we have to take necessary steps how we can preserve this water in our country. So we can make this barren lands to fertile one. We can change the scrub jungles to a fertile one. Okay, so one step we can do. And another step to preserve, to conservation of this water, which point will come to your mind first? Can you tell me which point will come? Yes, afforestation. What is the meaning of afforestation? Can you tell what is the opposite of afforestation? Afforestation opposite is deforestation. So here the writer brings the term afforestation And to focus this afforestation, he is bringing another term, civilized forest. Civilized forest. What is the meaning of a civilized forest? What is afforestation? Afforestation means planting of trees. Okay. So in that 8th and 9th classes and travel hour classes, you already learned what is the importance of afforestation. Okay. We have to plant trees. It will prevent the soil erosion. It can conserve water. The same way, we have to make civilized forest. Civilized forest, the meaning is the forest which is made by man. Man can make forest. Okay. So, what is civilized forest? Man-made forest, the systematic planting of trees in possible and even in impossible areas. Systematic, we have to plant the trees in a systematic level and not only possible areas. If the land is very fertile, automatically plants will grow there. But what is the meaning of civilized forest? We can plant systematically the trees even possible areas and even impossible areas. That means we have to make these barren lands to a fertile one. So what is the advantage of the civilized forest? Why we are making this civilized forest? It will check the soil erosion and at the same time it can conserve the rainfall water. Okay. So this is the advantage of civilized forest. So we have to make this civilized forest. And so it is very necessary to keep or conserve this water in our country. And if you are checking the transportation facilities, really in our country the transportation by boats and barges is the cheapest one. But the government is not taking more care about this transportation by water than this rail or road transportation. They are giving more importance to this rail or road transportation. And one more thing, we can make hydroelectric power from water, that you already learned. And what is the importance? We can make a hydroelectric power which will make a tremendous difference in the life of human being in countryside as well as in rural areas. The economic condition of rural areas also will be developed if they are getting this hydroelectric power. And you know what is the importance of this hydroelectric power. If you are using it, we can tap the underground water and a lot of changes will happen in the human life. Okay. So the writer concludes like this. In the full lesson we are learning about this water, the real elixir of life. The writer concludes like this. Water is the commonest liquid that we know. Okay, it's a common one. But we don't know the magical power of water. It is the commonest liquid among the uncommon liquid. We know the different aspects or different properties of this water. What are the use of this one? We don't know really, but we are using. It's a common one for us. Okay. So this lesson, this is very important lesson. You have to learn water is very precious in our life. So as human beings, it is our duty to conserve this water for our life and for the coming generations also. So save trees, save water and save our life. This is the theme of this lesson. Okay students, now let me to read this lesson. You have a look at this text. Okay. Take your textbook from 10th paragraph. Water is the basis of all. Every animal and every plant contains a substantial proportion of free or combined water in its body, and no kind of physiological activity is possible in which the fluid does not play an essential part. Water is, of course, necessary for animal life, while moisture in the soil is equally imperative for the life and growth of plants and trees. The preservation and utilization of water is thus fundamental for human welfare. Apart from artesian water, the ultimate source in all cases is rain or snowfall. Much of the Indian agriculture depends on seasonal rainfall and is therefore very sensitive to any failure or irregularity of the same. The problems of soil erosion and of inadequate or irregular rainfall are closely connected with each other. It is clear that the adoption of techniques preventing soil erosion would also help to conserve and keep the water where it is wanted. In other words, on and in the soil, and such techniques therefore serve a double purpose. 11th one. It is evident, however, that in a country having only a seasonal rainfall, an immense quantity of rainwater must necessarily run off the ground. The collection and utilization of this water is therefore of vital importance. Much of it flows down into the streams and rivers and ultimately finds its way to the sea. Incredibly large quantities of the precious fluid are thus lost to the country. The harnessing of our rivers, the waters of which now mostly run to waste, is a great national problem which must be considered and dealt with on national lines. Vast areas of land which at present are mere scrub jungle could be turned into fertile and prosperous country by courageous and well-planned action. 12th paragraph. Closely connected with the conservation of water supplies is the problem of afforestation. This paragraph is very important. How to see what is the importance of civilized forests. The systematic planting of suitable trees in every possible or even in impossible areas and the development of what one can call civilized forests as distinguished from wild and untamed jungle is one of the most urgent needs of India. Such a plantation would directly and indirectly prove a source of untold wealth to the country. They would check soil erosion and conserve the rainfall of the country from flowing away to waste. The measures necessary to control the movement of water and conserve the supplies of it can also serve subsidiary purposes of value to the life of the countryside. By far the cheapest form of internal transport in a country is by boats and barges through canals and rivers. We hear much about programs of rails and road construction, but far too little about the development of internal waterways in India. Then again, the harvesting of water supplies usually also makes possible the development of hydroelectric power. The availability of electric power would make a tremendous difference to the life of the countryside and enable rural economy to be improved in various directions. In particular, it would enable underground water to be tapped to a great extent than at present and thus help to overcome the difficulties arising from irregularity or inadequacy of other sources of supply. In one sense, water is commonest of liquids. In another sense, it is the uncommon of liquids with amazing properties which are responsible for its unique power of maintaining animal and plant life. The investigation of the nature and properties of water is therefore of the highest scientific interest and is far from an exhausted field of research. Okay students, pause this video and take your textbook, read the paragraphs from 10th to last. Okay. Then in 10th paragraph, the writer tells water is the basis of all life. It is very important. And in the same paragraph, the writer tells here the two types of water. Can you say which are they? Yes, artesian water and rainfall or snowfall. What is civilized forest? Civilized forest means man-made forest. Okay, and the explanation also you have to learn and its advantages also. Okay, what is civilized forest? The systematic planting of trees in possible and impossible areas. Advantages: it can check soil erosion, at the same time it can conserve the rainfall. And in the last 13th paragraph, it's a very important point. 4-mark question also may come for SSLC exam. How does hydroelectric power make changes in life? Okay, that paragraph also you have to read well. These are the main points of this lesson, the Elixir of Life, which is written by C.V. Raman. I hope you have understood about this lesson. Read once again that lesson full, and if you have any mistake, any doubt, you have to ask me. Okay students, see you in next class.